Hey guys, welcome back to Raise Create Cards. I hope everybody has had a good week. I hope wherever you live, you're having a really beautiful fall. It's awesome. I wish fall could last a little bit longer than it does, but anyway, I'll take what I can get, right? And what a blessing. So, I was out of town all last week. I hope the video that I put up for you guys last Friday was okay. I hope I was able to pass on at least a couple of tips and tricks. I try to do that in every video. So our little trip took us all the way to Myrtle Beach, and it was awesome. Now, it was a little drive there and a little drive back. It took longer than I would have liked, but you know what? It was worth it. It would have been worth it had the ride and everything even been double in length. And I wanted to show you, I did get permission from everyone in order to show this to you. My light, my big bright light is off so that you can see this without much glare. We went to Ripley's Aquarium while we were there. We were in South Myrtle Beach, for those of you who want to know the difference. There's a north and there's a south, and we were in the south. So while we were there, we had this group photo taken. And so starting from my left to right, there's my husband, Dillard. There's me trying to scrunch up because I thought I needed to make room. And as you can tell in the group, I was about the only one that felt like I needed to scrunch. This is my sister-in-law, Linda. I call her Sissy. Wonderful, wonderful Christian lady. She's just marvelous. She lost her own husband just a couple of years ago. And we'll always love and miss Marvin. But anyway... Sorry. This is one of her sons, Jason, his wife, Kimmy, and their 8-year-old son, Cooper. Kimmy makes the most gorgeous cakes. I mean, I don't think there's anything she can't do. She is just an artist in her own right. Cooper is our miracle baby. He was born with a lot of heart problems. Truly was not expected to make it. He had to have quite a few surgeries. It was touch and go for the longest time. And so, yes, little Cooper is definitely our little miracle baby in the family. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. And, since I haven't done a live yet, and it may be some time before I figure out how to do a live with 2 cameras, it may be a while before you see my face. So, yeah, I'm a little bit older than my profile picture that's on Google. Obviously, I am aging a little bit, but anyway, thought I would share that with you guys. Now, let me turn on my light and tell you, once again, yesterday, I found myself playing with Joy of Noel. Love that set. And I'm going to use a stamp from the Night Divine. Okay, we are going to use the Glory to God in the Highest. The other thing we are going to bring in is the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. My ink colors are Shaded Spruce, Real Red, and Memento Tuxedo Black. Very, very little of this. In fact, there's only one stamp I did use the black on. If you don't have black, you could use dark brown or any. You could probably even get away with Night of Navy if you don't have black. Okay, let me kind of lay this to the side for the moment, and let me start telling you what you're going to need. You are going to need a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, okay, scored at 5 1/2. So this is going to be your top folding card. Let me bring that light in a little bit more. Is that better? Maybe. Hopefully there's not any glare on anything here, we hope. So you need that for your card base. You're going to need a piece. Now, I cut it 3 3/4 by 5. Obviously, you could do a 4 by 5 1/4, a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, whatever you want on the inside. But that was the size I cut that. You are going to need a piece of Real Red. And this is cut at 4 inches by 10 1/4. Don't forget to cut off that little bit, okay? Because if you don't, it's not going to work out right. And you're going to score it at 2 1/2 and 5. Okay, and let me just very quickly show you. Let's pretend you're going to fold this in half like you were making a card base, although as you can tell, it's a little shy of a complete card base. And then this part here, you're going to bring this back to you. And let me just go ahead and kind of burnish those folds, and then I'll lay this to the side. Okay, we're going to have this. You are going to need a piece of DSP that is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. Bear in mind how your pattern goes as to how you cut it, okay? You are going to need another piece of DSP that is 3 3/4 by 5. Now, I have 2 dilemmas in making this card, and this is one of them. So you have this print, and you have this one that's a little bit bigger. Now, I don't know why you can't mix the two on a card. I don't know why we couldn't turn this pattern over and mix these two. I don't know why we couldn't. I can't use the music because the orientation is horizontal and I needed this vertical. So anyway, so what do you think? You think that looks pretty good together? We may end up going ahead and doing that on today's card just to see how it looks. I do have a sample card, sort of, kind of. I didn't finish it. I've only got this part of it done. And so this is what it looks like. And I'm not sure how that's going to look. It definitely could be maybe more masculine if we flipped it over and used that wood grain side. The only issue I have with that is that the wood grain is going horizontal, and I think I would be happier to use it if it was going vertical. So when we get to that point, we'll decide. And do I use the big print with the small print? Because you really can't see that much of the small print. So I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But that was 3 3/4 by 5. You're going to need a piece of shaded spruce. This is going to be one of your mats. It's going to be 2 3/4 by 4. And some of the die cuts, I did go ahead and die cut out of the middle of it. And I've got them laying here in my little tray, okay? This particular die cut cuts out 5 pieces of the foliage all at one time, which is awesome. And then you want a white piece to layer on top of that. And this one is 3 1/2 by 2. We are going to emboss this with that Snow Sky 3D embossing folder. Is it Snow Sky? Snowflake Sky. I'll get it right in a minute, guys. And then the sentiment for here, I stamped Making Spirits Bright in the bright red. I've already kind of prepped that. And we're also going to emboss it with that same embossing folder, because I think it just kind of does a little something, don't you think? I mean, yeah, this is okay, but it's kind of plain. And I thought, well, you know, that's a wonderful folder. We'll just add a little something, something. And so we'll be doing that too. All right, did I tell you all the dimensions? If not, I will try to repeat them throughout the video in case you're wanting to write these down or whatever. And I realized this morning, I lied, guys. I lied to you. In last week's video, I failed to get the description. Realized it, threw a quick note in there that later that day I would be putting the description in, and I forgot, guys. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I did. I lied to you. I broke my promise. My apologies. I mean, I can't undo me neglecting to do what I said I was going to, and I'm so sorry. I will get that done here shortly, okay? We are fixing to go out of town again in a couple of days. Yeah, but still, that's no excuse for me not keeping my promise. So I do apologize because that was just so wrong on so many levels. Okay, what I want to do first is go ahead and stamp what I want on the inside of my card. And so what I decided to use was Glory to God in the Highest. And I want to stamp that in the real red. And y'all cross your fingers. Hopefully I'll stamp this straight. I do have my grid paper out, so I'm a little bit disciplined on that part. And I'm going to pull this a little to me, but to where it's still in camera. let me move this. I know what I'm going to do. And try, and hopefully I will stamp this straight. I'm getting up on my tippy toes. And let's see if I get it straight. If not, we'll flip it over and we'll try again, right? Okay. Yeah, no, it's not straight. It's a little slanted. Dang it. All right, let's try this again, guys. Am I inked up? My Real Red ink pad, I over-inked it. It was so juicy. And so yesterday I had to do a little scraping and take a couple of paper towels to it and get some of that excess out. Okay. Hopefully. If not, we're going with it. Well, it's better. I don't know that it's perfect. It's a lot better. I wouldn't be ashamed to give that to someone. And so that's really the main criteria, isn't it? And do I have my scratch paper to stamp that off on? No. Can I get a piece of scratch paper? I can. That's something here that I printed that didn't come out right, or I didn't end up needing. So let me get off the excess. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot on there that I'm not really getting off. And let me get my Stampin' Mist. And just a little bit on my Stampin' Scrub. We're going to clean that up. He got a bath the other day, by the way, before I went out of town. So he's pretty clean. Am I clean? We're good. Okay, so we got that. And then I wanted to stamp in Shaded Spruce 2 of those holly leaves. And so what I did is I just mounted both of them on the block together. And we're good. Yeah, I'm being heavy-handed for some reason. So let me try to be just really careful. Just kind of plop that down. You could actually stamp this off if you wanted to, and that would be really pretty. In fact, let me show you what Shaded Spruce looks like stamped off. It is really pretty. Isn't that pretty? So if you wanted like just a really pale look, or if you wanted to stamp it like right up in the middle of the Glory to God stamped off, yeah, definitely could do that. Let me clean that one real quick. So I actually went to film this yesterday. Today is October the, let's see, Sunday was the 15th, 17th. I'm filming this on Tuesday, and we're leaving Thursday. So, yeah, my house is a wreck as usual. So, I got a lot to do, guys. Okay, so here's this part. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it in here. First, let's do this. Okay, and get my glue here. Oh, backside. Yeah, that is the backside. I thought, wait a minute, I just stamped those leaves. Guys, I don't drink. I would hate to think what kind of a card maker I'd be if I did drink. Who knows? Maybe it would help me. It might. It would be a good theory anyway. And you know, God doesn't forbid alcohol. He does forbid us drinking to excess and not being in our right minds, because he knows how alcohol affects our judgment, our emotions, and our thinking. And occasionally, and I do mean occasionally, I used to like to have a very tiny glass of red wine. I don't do that anymore, and I have no desire to anymore. Because I realize that every time I do that, my liver can take a little bit of a hit, right? So, if y'all are having issues with your hearts, your livers, anything like that, your digestion, and you do occasionally have a little alcohol, abstain from that for a while and see if you don't notice an improvement. Yeah, I don't know why that even came up, but anyway. All right. So here's that part. I'm just going to put that to the side for the moment, and we're going to get in our piece of Real Red. And again, this was 4 inches by 10 1/4. We scored it at 2.5 and 5 inches, or I did off camera. Okay. So what I'm going to do is at this point, I'm going to decide, do I want the big pattern? Do I want the little pattern? In my original, I used this one. And I think I'm going to go back and use this one and save that other piece for another day. Yeah, these music notes. Now, did I already clog up? Oh, looky there. I got a little bit of something, something already set up in there. Oh, I know I'm not the only one who is a really messy card maker, but sometimes I feel like I am. Let me take a pen, and if I can get it in there, my goodness, maybe I need to get new glasses. I may need to do that. Let me get it up closer to me. See if I can get that in there. Here we go. Maybe I do need to get new glasses. Now let's see what happens. Okay, I felt the air suck through that time. Woo, I kind of got a little bit much. I'll straighten that up. And DSP is really thin. You don't need that much. I'm just going to kind of flick that out. There we go. Got so many ideas. I don't know how many of you got to participate in World Card Making Day. I was ready. It was actually happening the afternoon of the day we left, and we got there in time. I had all my stuff pre-cut. I had my bag packed with everything I needed, yada, yada, yada. And I couldn't get into it. I had my unlimited data on my cell phone, so that was not an issue. I was getting good signal. The resort that we stayed at, let me give them a big shout out too. If y'all are planning to go to South Myrtle Beach, Lakewood RV Resort. Oh my word. It advertises as family friendly. There is a huge scripture on the big sign right there on the highway. They have a ministry building in there. They have church services on Sunday, which I did not get to attend. But it was awesome. It's huge. It is huge. There were people in there using anywhere from humble tents all the way up to the really fancy rigs. A lot of them had their RVs decked out for Halloween with Halloween decorations. The little golf carts were all decorated. And of an evening, the children were allowed to dress up in their Halloween costumes and go to campsites who wanted to give out candy. And they were giving out candy. And it was so festive. It was such a wonderful atmosphere. So, yeah, a big shout out to Lakewood. All right, on this piece of shaded spruce, and it is 2 3/4 by 4, and I did die cut that out. Now, this is going to be the piece I want to layer over it. However, I do want to emboss that very quickly. And I'm going to see if I can't get both pieces in here. Got that in there. Will this fit? I think that will fit, and they look like they're straight from my perspective. Funny how perspective is everything, right? Okay, am I straight? Let me shut this and then I'll know. The top one, well, all right. Without using tape, I'm just going to lay this one in here, get it straight, and run it through real quick. I've got my big boss set up right here next to me. I'll go just as fast as I can and not keep you waiting. Yeah, I haven't forgotten, guys. I am now able to do lives. I just haven't had a hot minute to kind of get that going. And I'm still learning about cameras, and do I need extra software, and if I do, what am I going to use, all that kind of thing. I will tell you, some months ago I did try to do lives on Facebook, and it was horrible. It was just a horrible experience. I couldn't depend on Facebook to save my video so that I could download it, because there was one time it didn't, even though I told it to. Even though I specified my orientation to be horizontal like it is now, it didn't always do that. Yeah. So, all right, before I glue this on there, I do need to get my die cuts. And you feel free to decorate yours any way you want to. What I did is I stamped Noel in real red on basic white cardstock. And I just laid them out randomly. You may not like that look. You do you. And then I have these 5. Let me kind of rescue those from my little tray here. This is actually a little magnetic tray. Y'all have seen it before, although maybe it's been a while. And I think I ordered that from someplace off of Etsy. But it does have some stick for your dies and stuff. So, yeah, it's really cute. All right, now let me figure out how I want to. Is that ink? I hope it's ink. I hope it is. So Sunday morning at church, I'm writing with one of my favorite black ink pens. And I looked down and I had black all over me. It was all over. It was up under my fingernails. See where it's still stained. It's horrible. And it's like, well, okay, I'm used to this, right? Oh, heavens. So I'm just going to go ahead and start popping these down. And it's not hard to get this to want to stick to the embossed background because the snowflakes are, you know, kind of scattered and not a whole lot of them. So it's not hard to get that to want to lay down. And because I'm not lining these up, and if I was, I would use a ruler. I have a tea ruler and I want to like it, but I ordered it a long time ago on Amazon and I just got something cheap. Well, it doesn't have a good lip on it. It wants to slide all the time, so I'm going to have to get me a good one. And honestly, the one I have seen recommended the most on YouTube as a whole is the one that my Sweet Petunia makes, that makes the Misty. So I'm going to look into getting that. And I think when you order it, you get 2 of them, and they're in 2 sizes. How do I want that one? Let's do that one there. There we go. And now for our L. Yeah, I noticed yesterday my red ink pad was so juicy because I wasn't able to see very many of those white lines. Like there was just so much ink on there. So if you're having the same issue where you have maybe some little details like is in this one and it's not doing so well, just take your ink pad, take an old gift card. You don't keep old credit cards around, I hope, with the numbers still on them. But just take an old gift card and kind of scrape all that ink to the other end. And I was getting up a lot, so I did have to take a paper towel and just kind of gather that up a little bit. I did. All right. I'm a little closer to the bottom than the top is to the top, but I'm just not going to let that bother me. I'm going to take this. I cannot find my adhesive sheets anywhere. And it looks like I'm going to have to order some because I thought, you know, for once I actually thought to get them out to use them. Couldn't find them. So, seems like I looked for them here the other day too and could not find them then. So, yeah, well, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to reorder them and then I'm going to find them. You know that's what's going to happen. You know it will. All right, I'm going to put one down here. Okay, let's get this one. All right, we're almost there. Almost there, if I can get some of this glue out. This is wanting to clog again. I'm wondering if I have a piece of something that is in there in my glue bottle, and it's getting up into that tip. And if that's the issue I have, I'm really going to have to work super hard to get that undone. I'm looking at these as I pick them up because I am the queen of putting glue on the wrong side every time. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to put that one right there. No rhyme or reason, guys. Have fun with stuff like this. It's not often you get to just kind of ad lib and just kind of plop it wherever. And it'll look good. Either way you do yours, it will look good. Okay, and I'm going to put this one right there. Let's see how different it looks from what I did yesterday. Honestly, not too awfully different. And I kind of tended to be low with my L than there. Now, do you see the difference in the ink? This almost looks like Cherry Cobbler. And this almost looks like Poppy Parade. But that's how much your inks will kind of fade within a few hours, and they'll settle down a little bit and not be so in your face, because this actually looks a little bit more festive, a little bit more brighter. And again, Cherry Cobbler is in the berries in that DSP. If you want to use Cherry Cobbler, use Cherry Cobbler. Make it yours. Okay. You will need a little scrap of Shaded Spruce if you don't cut it out of that layer, okay? Some people like to do that. I don't always like to do that, and I'll be honest. So see here, because this piece is embossed, and I didn't get out my glue mat like I should have, and I had to put glue all over. Honestly, it didn't come through. Well, isn't that amazing? So that did not come through. So now I have this. And now we can put this on here. We're just eyeballing it, guys. We're going to try to have the same border, top, bottom, side to side, yada, yada. And I'm going to just squiggle some glue there. Go. And stick that right in the middle. And y'all are already, I know, I can tell, I can hear all them thoughts whizzing through your head. And if you don't have this set, absolutely use whatever you have. A million different ways you can decorate this. Okay, so we have that. Now, let's go ahead and take and lay this on the back of our DSP layer for the very front. Now, before I do that, I shouldn't have done that just yet. So, I forgot yesterday when I was doing this for the first time. I really wanted my grouping of foliage, I think, to go up underneath the white layer. I think I want to try that. So, I'm just going to hope I don't get into that. And I'm going to show you what I did. So, out of Lemon Lime Twist, I cut 2 of those. Let me get some scratch paper over here. And I took my Shaded Spruce ink, move this, and a sponge dauber, and inked it up. Now, Shaded Spruce is real intense, so you're going to have to take off the worst of it. I know, it's kind of like wasting it, sort of, kind of, right? And on one piece, and I'm just kind of going down and sliding up so that I'm not going against all those little stems of foliage. Kind of going with the flow. And I want that one a little bit darker. That's the one that's going to be in the back. I want just a bit more darkness here and there. I don't want to totally cover up the glow of that Lemon Lime Twist. Not totally. But I do want it to have some depth. There we go. I think that's okay. And then, without re-inking, I just took what was left on my sponge dauber for the second one, so it would be lighter a bit. So it will glow a little bit. And so now when you layer them, you've got a little bit of definition there, okay? So we're just going to lay those down for the minute. Yeah, you're going to get inky. Then on Shaded Spruce, and this is why you'll need a scrap of Shaded Spruce, and with the Memento Tuxedo Black, I just stamped that stamp. And there is a die that cuts out 2 berries at a time, and 7 will fit on here, so you will have to run that through 4 times to get your 7. And I've got my little tiny berries here. I think what I want to do is pick them up with my Take Your Pick tool. And then I'm going to take and just put a little bit of glue right there on the berries. Just a little bit. And there we got that. And then just start laying them on there. And I noticed yesterday some of my my putty was trying to, oh, that's dirty. Oh, heavens, how embarrassing. Some of the putty was trying to stick to my cardstock. So if that happens to you, clean off that little bit of putty, because they do, you know, they do kind of lose, they can lose their tackiness, but it can also, because it's tacky, it can pick up little bits of cardstock and just gunk, you know, that we can have in our card room. I messed that up, didn't I? Put that back on there, put that one back on there, keep your fingers out of it. Okay, and we're gonna get this on here. Now what I like, yeah, I was a little heavy-handed with the glue because I'm using the Barely Art glue. It will dry matte, it won't be shiny, and it's not sticky. But I'll take care of that here in just a second. I will fix that. Let's see, what do I have next to me? I've got my little soft rag here. And I'm just simply going to lay that on there and dab that up. And when it fully dries, you won't see anything. And, you know, I'm thinking I might make that one a little darker. It's not a whole lot of difference there, is it? I don't think I went quite far enough. So I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And obviously, you know, if you got a scrap of, you could just do it straight out of shaded spruce, like I did the berry stem. You could do that. But I thought this gave it just a little bit of definition to where, and I'm going to kind of tilt them a little offset from each other. I don't know, can you kind of tell what I did there? And then we're going to take this one, we're going to lay it on top, and that really kind of pops. Okay, see what we got going on? So now we'll just glue those together. Just going to put some on that stem right there. And, you know, I noticed yesterday when I was in here playing, and I wasn't sure what did it, and I still am not sure what did it, because yesterday I had absolutely no sugar at all, but my blood sugar started dropping, and it was so odd, and I was so shaky, and it was like, what's going on here? I don't know. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that one, and we'll get that one a little offset. Which way do I want to go? I think I want to go that way, about like that. And I'm going to give this just a chance to set up just a bit. I'm going to move this in case I have glue on it. And no glue there, but I'm slip sliding. I'm going to put that down. And let's see. I really kind of wanted it to lay more to the side. And let me see, can I don't know if this is already dried so much that I can't fasten that down. Is it going to fasten my foliage? Kind of. All right, I'm finagling with this. I wish I had not gotten that on there already, but I did. And I want more of that coming up. I just don't want you to see the very, very end of the foliage there. And I think we're good. That's got a little bit more of the look that I was going for instead of it being almost straight up and down. And I think we're good. We're going to put that here on the front, and then we'll get it to our card base, guys. Obviously, if you want to add some bling to this, you can add some bling to this. I honestly don't feel like it's necessary. You could pop this up with dimensionals if you wanted to, but I feel like we have got quite a bit of weight going on. And I think we're adhered pretty well to the back. All right, so this is kind of, sort of, the card. Let's go ahead and put this on our card base. And we will be done with this card. I've still got a whole lot of ideas going on in my head and with using other sets. So the online exclusives, there's some new stuff that's been added. And I ordered that Meadow Suite. In fact, it's behind me in front of my computer, on my computer desk. It is right behind me. And I'll show it to you quickly. I'm not going to go through the DSP and stuff because I am sure there are other wonderful demonstrators out there that have already showcased it and shown it on their channel. I did, however, want to make sure that you did see the bling. So look at this. This is called the Adhesive Back Dragonflies and Birds. There's two different birds. They're flying in different directions. Isn't that beautiful? I just wanted to open that up and slide that out because this kind of covers up part of what you're getting. So that was awesome. And so here is the Garden Meadow stamp set. Here are the Garden Meadow dies. Oh my goodness, you get so many dies, guys. 2 for the fence, 1 to cut out all the foliage. You have grass. You have the little tines, you have the spade, the rain boots, the watering can, an archway. I mean, I haven't got to play with it. And I won't get to play with it this week either. And the DSP, I mean, it's just, oh, it's beautiful. I love that watercolor. There are so many great scenes. Take that archway die, cut you out a middle, pop it on a card, throw a sentiment on there. Guys, it's lovely. I predict that on November the 7th, when you guys can order it, it's going to sell out quick. If you want that set or if you just want that DSP, you best be getting on it early as soon as November the 7th hits, because I am predicting it is going to sell out. There is a ribbon that goes with that as well, and I thought I had it sitting here. I probably moved it to make sure it didn't get messed up. Do I see it with my computer desk? No. But I have my calendar all splayed out. All kinds of stuff laying over there. So it could be there and I just don't see it. So anyway, guys, until we get together again, here is your easel card. It's called a double easel card from what I have found, and I can't really show you exactly how it's going to look all the way standing up. Maybe if I pull this out a little bit. But isn't that sweet? So they have this right here in the front that's greeting them, and they're getting a hint of that background back there. And then you have the inside where you can write a message. And isn't that sweet? I love it. It's been around a long, long time. This was nothing new. I try to make sure that when I come in here and create, I try to be as original as I can possibly be. But again, there are some techniques like the bridge card. I love bridge cards. I've done a couple of videos on bridge cards. And I guarantee you'll probably see another one at some point in the future because it is such a classic. The easel card is also a classic, but I designed it my way. So, guys, y'all be safe, be blessed, know you're loved. God is good all the time. Bye.